Hello friends, in this video I will be solving CFA Institute's practice MCQs for ethics. Which of the following actions will help to ensure the fair treatment of brokerage firm clients when a new investment recommendation is made? So basically what they are trying to ask, it is regarding clients' fair treatment when a new recommendation is made. Option A, informing all people in the firm in advance that a recommendation is to be disseminated. Option B, distributing recommendations to institutional clients prior to individual accounts. And option C, minimizing the time between decision and dissemination of a recommendation. So now if you've read our theory notes, it is very well evident that option C is the right one. ऑप्शन सी क्या बोलता है, मिनिमाइज द टाइम बिटवीन decision and dissemination of recommendation. If at 9 o'clock you have decided that you have to give a buy recommendation, then immediately try to disseminate or try to spread that news by email or by call or whatever you think is right. So basically time frame जो है between decision of that recommendation and spreading or disseminating that recommendation, it should be minimized. Option B जो बोलता है distributing recommendations to institutional before individual, this is a violation because you are not being fair to these individual accounts. However, if you remember, एक exception था. If you have subscribed to 3 different packages, एक था gold, एक था silver और एक था platinum. So if something like this is the case, then you could have sent it earlier to the institutional investors before individual, but here they have not yet mentioned anything about it. And option A says informing all the people in the firm in advance. See, this is not right. First you have to give all the information to the client. अपने firm में किसी को भी नहीं बताना है. That was the rule. Answer. The correct answer is option C. This question relates to standard 3B, fair dealing. It tests the knowledge of procedures that will assist the members and candidates in treating the clients fairly when making investment recommendations. The step listed in C will help ensure the fair treatment of clients. Answer A may have negative effects on the fair treatment of clients. The more people who know about a pending change, the greater the chance that someone will inform some clients before the information is released. So basically, straight away, once you take the decision of any recommendation, buy, hold or sell, directly disseminate to your clients and tell no one other than your clients. The firm should establish policies that limit the number of people who are aware in advance that a recommendation is to be disseminated. मतलब कि ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने किसी को भी नहीं बोलना है. You can let 2 or 3 or 4 people know about it who will be responsible for disseminating it ahead, but don't let everyone know about it. Answer B, distributing recommendation to institutional clients before distributing them to individual clients discriminates among the clients on the basis of size and class of assets and is a violation of standard 3B. So that is why the correct answer was option C. Example 12. The Mosaic theory holds that an analyst dash violates the code and standards if the analyst fails to have knowledge of and comply with applicable laws. If you remember, ये जो Mosaic theory है वो 1A में था ही नहीं, तो option A is absolutely wrong. ये जो laws का point है that was levied in 1A. Option B, can use material public info and non-material non-public info in the analyst's analysis. Now option B is absolutely right, because this is the definition of Mosaic theory. So there is no such application of mind here. It is just a basic theory question. Option C, should use all available info and relevant info in support of an investment recommendation. No, now this is some other point of other standard. So basically option B here is right. This is my Mosaic theory's formula. Mosaic says I'll use material public info plus non-material non-public info. If I am using non-material non-public, then I am not violating the standard. Basically material non-public use nahi karna hai, that is known as insider trading. But here I am using some non-public info which is not that material. So yes, this is Mosaic theory. Solution, the correct answer is option B. This deals with standard 2A, material non-public info. The Mosaic theory states that an analyst may use material public info and non-material non-public info in creating a larger picture than shown by any individual piece of info, and the conclusions the analyst reaches become material only after the pieces are assembled. Answers A and C are accurate statements relating to code of standards but do not describe the Mosaic theory. So basically what they tried to do here is they gave statements which are right but from other standards and not related to Mosaic theory. Next, example 13. Jürgen is a portfolio manager. One of her firm's clients has told Jürgen that he will compensate her beyond the compensation provided by her firm on the basis of capital appreciation of his portfolio each year. Now, what is the question? Jürgen जो है एक employee है और a portfolio manager. Jürgen's employer is already paying Jürgen, but एक client बोलता है that I will pay Jürgen over and above what the employer is paying Jürgen. Basically, what should Jürgen do? That is the question. Option A, turn down the additional compensation because it will result in conflict with the interest of other clients' accounts. तो ऑप्शन ए बोलता है don't take this additional compensation. Option B says turn down the additional compensation because it will create undue pressure on her to achieve strong short-term performance. मतलब this point is saying that turn down the additional compensation ताकि ये short term में उसको pressure ना हो. Fine. Option C says obtain permission from her employer prior to accepting the compensation agreement. Now if you've studied this standard, you very well know that option C is the right one. Solution, the correct answer is option C. This standard involves 4B, additional compensation agreements or additional compensation arrangements. The arrangement described in the question whereby Jürgen would be compensated beyond the compensation provided by her firm on the basis of account's performance is not a violation of standards as long as Jürgen discloses the agreement in writing to her employer and obtains permission from her employer prior to entering the arrangement. So basically this was a straightforward question. 4B says that if there is any additional compensation agreement, then disclose to your employer in writing. Answers A and B are incorrect. Although the private compensation arrangement could conflict with the interest of other clients and lead to short-term performance pressures, members and candidates may enter into such agreements as long as they have disclosed the agreements to their employer and obtained permission for the agreement from the employer. Basically, ये जो option A और B है वो wrong नहीं है, but turning down that additional compensation is a violation if you check the other way around. Basically, the standards are not asking you to turn down the additional compensation. The standards are asking you to not accept additional compensation without disclosing it in writing to your employer. So option C is the most appropriate one. Now, example 14. One of the discretionary accounts managed by Farnsworth is the Jones Corporation Employee Profit Sharing Plan. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये जो दो पार्टीज है उसका नाम क्लियर कर लो. फार्न्सवर्थ इज द पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजर and Jones Corporation Employee Profit Sharing Plan is the client. Jones, the company president, recently asked Farnsworth to vote the shares in the profit sharing plan in favor of slate of directors nominated by Jones Corporation and against the directors sponsored by a dissident stockholder group. First of all, try to understand what is this. This is a company, Jones Corporation. अब इसमें दो ग्रुप है. एक है डायरेक्टर्स जिसको नॉमिनेट किया है जोन्स कॉर्पोरेशन ने. So these are nominated by Jones Corporation. And then there are other directors. So ये directors nominated by a dissident stockholder group. First of all, try to understand ये कौन है, क्या है dissident stockholder या shareholder group. Now in every company there are two types of stockholders. एक होता है majority और एक होता है minority. Majority must be having more than 50% of shares, and these minority combined it might be around 30, 40, 20, you never know. So let's assume that ये जो minority shareholders है उनके पास 10% shares है and they think that something is wrong in this company, so they have formed a dissident stockholder group. Basically ये जो dissident होता है या you can say these are all angry shareholders, these are all really oppressed by the majority shareholders. इन्होंने एक group बनाया. So they are trying to nominate some directors and Jones Corporation is basically the majority shareholders are trying to nominate some directors. So now what has really happened, if you read from this line, second line, Jones, the company president, asks Farnsworth to vote the shares in the plan in favor of a slate of directors nominated by Jones Corporation. So basically Jones जो कंपनी का प्रेसिडेंट है वो ये एम्प्लॉय या ये जो मैनेजर है फार्न्सवर्थ उसको बोलता है कि आप जो वोट है वो किसको देना, ये फर्स्ट वाले ग्रुप को देना. Farnsworth does not want to lose his account. Basically Farnsworth does not want to lose this client because he directs all the accounts trades to a brokerage firm that provides Farnsworth with useful information about tax-free investments. Now in the background what is happening, these Jones corporates investments have been handled by Farnsworth. And now ये जो Farnsworth है उसने क्या किया है, आगे जाके एक ब्रोकरेज फर्म को कुछ तो भी अग्रीमेंट किया है ब्रोकरेज फर्म के साथ. नाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर, Farnsworth हु इज मैनेजिंग जोन्स कॉर्पोरेशन ये क्या करता है, ये ब्रोकर के पास गया और ब्रोकर को बोला ये जो जोन्स कॉर्पोरेशन है मेरा क्लाइंट उसका सारा का सारा शेयर ट्रेडिंग, बाइंग, सेलिंग, व्हाटएवर इट इज will be managed by this broker and broker in return gives advice to Farnsworth regarding some tax free investments. ये पूरा arrangement है. Now ये जो Farnsworth है उसको ये Jones Corporation जो है ये उसको खोना नहीं है. It does not want to lose this client. That is what the question has said till now. Although this information is not of value in managing the Jones Corporation account, it does help in managing several other accounts. So basically ये जो tax free investment का recommendation मिलेगा from that broker वो ये जोन्स कॉर्पोरेशन के लिए इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट फार्न्सवर्थ कैन यूज दिस इन्फो फॉर हिज अदर क्लाइंट्स. The brokerage firm providing this info also offers the lowest commissions for trades and provides the best execution. If you remember, lowest commission तो ठीक है. If you remember, best execution क्या था? If a share is available at 100, then this broker will try to give it to you at 99.6 or 99.8, which is the best price possible and which benefits the client also while buying. Farnsworth investigates the director issue, concludes that the management nominated slate is better for the long run performance of the company than the dissident group's slate, and votes accordingly. Now what has Farnsworth done? Farnsworth has voted the first category of directors which were nominated by Jones Corporation. Now MCQ says Farnsworth, option A, violated the standards in voting the shares in the manner required by Jones, but not in directing trades to the brokerage firm. तो ऑप्शन ए क्या बोलता है? He has violated the standards in voting as requested by Jones, but not in directing the trades to the brokerage firm. So there are two issues involved here. Voting the first director group, and second is directing the trades to Farnsworth to that broker. First one is violated and second one has not been violated. That is what the option A says. Option B, he did not violate the standards in voting these shares in the manner requested by Jones or in directing the trades to the brokerage firm. So this is what is saying, did not violate the standards in voting and did not violate in directing the trades to the firm. तो बेसिकली ये बोल रहा है कुछ भी वायलेशन नहीं है. ऑप्शन सी, violated the standards in directing trades to the brokerage firm but not in voting the shares as requested by Jones. Now this one is saying violated by directing trades to the broker and not in voting. Option A says ये जो है voting वाला इसमें violation किया है. Option C says that ये जो सेकेंड वाला है ब्रोकरेज इसका वायोलेशन है. ऑप्शन बी सेज किधर भी कुछ भी वायोलेशन नहीं है. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज द आंसर? ये जो है ब्रोकर को उसने ट्रेड डायरेक्ट किया है, दैट इज नॉट अ वायोलेशन. नाउ वोटिंग के लिए ही हैज इन्वेस्टिगेटेड दिस इशू फर्स्ट and then voted the directors nominated by Jones. So even this does not seem to be a violation. Let's check the answer. The correct answer is option B. This question relates to standard 3A, loyalty, prudence and care. Specifically, a member's or a candidate's responsibility for voting proxies and use of client brokerage. ये दोनों का बात हुआ है. According to the facts stated in the question, Farnsworth did not violate standard 3A. Although the company's president asked Farnsworth to vote the shares of the Jones Corporation profit sharing plan a certain way, Farnsworth investigated the issue and concluded independently the best way to vote, and that is why he has not violated. Therefore, even though his decision coincided with the wishes of the company's president, Farnsworth is not in violation of his responsibility to be loyal and to provide care to his clients. Now in this case, the participants and beneficiaries of the profit sharing plan are the clients, not the company's management. मतलब ये जो प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग प्लान है उसमें जो क्लाइंट्स है वो बेनिफिशियरी है, कंपनी के मैनेजमेंट को कोई बेनिफिट नहीं होने वाला था. Had Farnsworth not investigated the issue, or had he yielded to the president's wishes and voted for the slate of directors that he had determined was not in the best interest of company, Farnsworth would have violated his responsibilities to the beneficiaries of the plan. Basically, without doing investigation, अगर उसने सीधा president का सुन के vote किया होता, then he would have been in violation. In addition, because the brokerage firm provides the lowest commissions and best execution for security transactions, Farnsworth has met his obligation to the client in using the brokerage firm. तो basically ये जो brokerage firm है उसमें कोई violation नहीं है. It does not matter that the brokerage firm also provides research information that is not useful for the account generating the commission, because Farnsworth is not paying extra money of the clients for that info. If you remember, ये Farnsworth ने क्या किया है, ये broker को एक client दिया है and this broker is earning brokerage out of it. तो इसने सामने उसको क्या किया है, investment recommendation दिया है, tax planning वगैरह का. So this is not a violation. Next, question 15. Brown works for an investment counseling firm. This is just like your advisory firm. Green, a new client. अभी जो Brown है वो employee है. You must note these down before reading the whole question. Brown is an employee. Green is a new client. Now what happened here is that Brown जो है उसने एक undervalued stock ढूंढा है given in this question, which has large potential gains, and she recommends that Green must purchase this stock. And इधर कुछ तो भी violation हुआ है. So क्या अलग से करना चाहिए था? That is the question. Option A, Brown should have determined Green's needs, objectives, tolerance for risk before making a recommendation of security of any type. So this is basically related to IPS, if you remember, investment policy statement. This option seems to be right. Before knowing Green, how can you recommend one stock? तो ग्रीन का कितना रिस्क टॉलरेंस है, कितना रिटर्न उसको चाहिए, एक्सेट्रा, यू मस्ट नो इट. सो ऑप्शन ए लुक्स राइट. ऑप्शन बी, Brown should have thoroughly explained the characteristics of the company to Green, including the characteristics of the industry in which the company operates. Now this client would not really be willing to know all of this. Option C, Brown should have explained her qualifications, including education, training, experience and meaning of CFA designation. Now this is unnecessary. No one really cares about whatever your qualification is. वो client को चाहिए कि उसका काम अच्छे से हो जाए, उसको अच्छे से return मिल जाए. That is it. So option A looks right. Solution. The correct answer is option A. In this question, Brown is making investment recommendation before making inquiries about the client's financial situation, investment experience, investment objectives. Basically IPS नहीं बनाया है. Brown is thus violating standard 3C, which is suitability. Answers B and C provide examples of information members and candidates should discuss with their clients at the outset of the relationship. But these answers do not constitute a complete list of those factors. So basically ये जो option B और C है वो ठीक है. If you want you can say that, but now is not the right time. Like whenever you are recommending, तभी तुमको ये सब नहीं बोलना है. So you should have mentioned all of that earlier, and that is why option A is the best one. Example 16. Gray recommends the purchase of a mutual fund that invests solely in US long-term treasury bonds. He makes the following statements to his clients. A. The payment of bonds is guaranteed by US government. Therefore, the default risk of bonds is virtually zero. Default risk is virtually zero. Okay. B. If you invest in the mutual fund, you will earn a 10% rate of return each year for the next several years based on historical performance of the market. ये क्या बोल रहा है? Based on historical performance, you will earn 10% in future. If you remember from theory lectures कि ये एक violation है. You cannot guarantee performance based on historical performance. So future guarantee नहीं कर सकते. Did Gray's statements violate the CFA code and standards? Now CFA Institute's code and standards में से आपको select करना है A और B में से क्या violate हुआ है क्या नहीं हुआ है. So my option A says neither statement violated the code of standards, which is wrong because B has violated. Option B, only statement 1 violated the standards. Again this is wrong. Option B मतलब standard B जो था that had violated, और statement B जो था that had violated. Option C, only statement 2 violated the code. Yeah, this one is the right one because statement A जो था उसमें कोई भी violation नहीं था. Answer C is the correct answer. This question involves standard 1C, misrepresentation. Statement 1 is a factual statement that discloses to the clients and prospects accurate info about the terms of इन्वेस्टमेंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट. देखो ये जो यूएस ट्रेजरी बॉन्ड्स है दैट इज वर्चुअली रिस्क फ्री बिकॉज उसके पीछे यूएस गवर्नमेंट का बैकिंग है. उसमें कोई वायोलेशन नहीं था, उसने एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट बताया था. सो द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट वाज नॉट एन इशू बट द सेकेंड जो था इट इज एन इशू बिकॉज वो वायोलेशन है. स्टेटमेंट 2 which guarantees a specific rate of return for mutual fund is opinion stated as a fact. मतलब वो उसका ओपिनियन है कि हिस्ट्री विल रिपीट इटसेल्फ बट इट इज नॉट अ फैक्ट. Therefore violate standard 1C, which is misrepresentation. If statement 2 were rephrased to include a qualifying statement such as in my opinion investors may earn 10% return in future based on historical performance, अगर ऐसा होता, if it had started with if in my opinion and investors may earn, अगर ये लिखा होता then it would not be in violation of the standards. Example 17, and a portfolio manager for XYZ investment management company, a registered investment organization that advises investment firms and private accounts, was promoted to the position 3 years ago. Bates, her supervisor का नाम है Bates, is responsible for reviewing Andub's portfolio account transactions and her required monthly reports of personal stock transactions. Andub has been using Jonali, a broker, almost exclusively for brokerage transactions for the portfolio account. For securities in which Jonali's firm makes a market, Jonali has been giving Andub lower prices for personal purchases and higher prices for personal sales that Jonali gives to Andub's portfolio accounts and other investors. Now, what has happened here? ये जो Andub है, उसका एक ब्रोकर है या उसकी एक ब्रोकर है Jonali, एंड उसके साथ साथ Andub's clients. So basically what is happening here, if someone wants to buy the stock, say for example वो जो stock है उसका current market price है $10. If someone is buying it, the transaction is to buy. Now Jonali क्या करती है, if Andub wants to buy it, Andub को वो 9.9 में मिल जाएगा. She will try to fetch Andub 9.9 का buying price, but Andup's client will get it at 10 only. So there is some discrimination happening here. Let's read the question again. Andup has been filing monthly reports with Bates. Bates कौन है? Supervisor. Only for those months in which she has no personal transactions, which is about every 4th month. So basically supervisor को reporting भी अच्छे से नहीं हो रहा है. Which of the following is most likely to be a violation of code and standards? Option A, Andup failed to disclose her employer about her personal transactions. Personal transactions को disclose नहीं किया है. This is a violation definitely. Option B, Andup owned the same securities as those of her clients. Now, having those same securities like of your clients is not a violation. Option C, Bates allowed Andup to use Jonelli as her broker for personal trades. Again, ये जो Bates है supervisor, she cannot stop her junior from using some broker. So again, this is not a violation. Option A seems to be the right one. Answer. The correct answer is option A. This question involves 3 of the standards. 3 standards use किया है. Andup, the portfolio manager, has been obtaining more favorable prices for her personal securities transactions than she gets for her clients, which is a breach of 3A. 3A क्या था? Loyalty, prudence and care. In addition, she violated standard 1D, misconduct, by failing to adhere to the company policy and by hiding her personal transactions from the firm. She was not filing those reports in which those months of personal transactions were disclosed. So basically, ये hiding जो किया है, even that is a misconduct. So 1D, misconduct, has been violated. Andup's supervisor, Bates, violated standard 4C, responsibilities of supervisors. Although the company had requirements for reporting personal trading, Bates failed to adequately enforce those requirements. मतलब Bates के junior ने ये violation किया है, तो Bates ने भी वो violation कर दिया है. So 4C, responsibilities of supervisors, has been violated by Bates also. Answer B does not represent a violation because standard 6B, priority of transaction, requires that personal trading in a security be conducted after the trading in that security of the clients and that of the employer. Basically, पहले client का trading हो जाने दो, फिर employer का trading हो जाने दो, and then employee can trade. So there is no restriction कि ये ले ही नहीं सकता. You can buy similar securities. The code and standards do not prohibit owning such investments, although firms may establish policies that limit the investment opportunities of members and candidates. Answer C does not represent a violation because the code and standards do not contain a prohibition against employees using the same broker. See, nowhere in the theory you have studied कि client और ये employee का same broker हो सकता है. ऐसा violation कुछ भी नहीं होता है. For their personal accounts that they use for their client accounts. This arrangement should be disclosed to the employer so that the employer may determine whether there is a conflict of interest or not. Next, example 18. Which of the following is a correct statement of a member's or a candidate's duty under the code of standards? Correct statement पूछा है, okay? A. In absence of specific applicable law or other regulatory requirements, the code of standards govern the members or the candidate's actions. ये लाइन क्या बोलता है? If कोई law नहीं है, absence of law, and कोई regulatory requirement भी नहीं है, then code and standards will govern the members' actions. If you remember, standard 1A में तुमने यही पढ़ा है. 1A क्या बोलता है? Follow the strictest law. If there is some law regulating you and then there are code of standards, तो कौन सा वाला select करोगे? code and standards, or the law, whichever is the strictest. But here in this case, अगर कोई law है ही नहीं तो कौन सा follow करोगे? The code and standards. So option A looks right. Option B, a member or candidate is required to comply only with applicable local laws, rules and regulations, or customs, even though the code and standards may impose a higher degree of responsibility और a higher duty on member. ये ऑप्शन बी जो है वो 1A के अगेंस्ट जा रहा है. ऑप्शन बी बोलता है सिर्फ लोकल लॉ फॉलो करो इवन दो कोड इज स्ट्रिक्टर, विच इज रॉन्ग बिकॉज कोड क्या बोलता है? फॉलो लोकल लॉ और द कोड एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स विच एवर इज द स्ट्रिक्टेस्ट. सो ऑप्शन बी इज रॉन्ग. ऑप्शन सी, a member or candidate who trades securities in securities market where no applicable local laws or stock exchange rules regulate the use of material non-public info may take investment action based on material non-public info. Basically C option क्या बोलता है पता है? local laws कुछ भी नहीं है, local laws है ही नहीं, तो we can use material non-public इन्फो, ये MNP इन्फो यूज़ कर सकते हैं, ऐसा ऑप्शन सी बोलता है, विच इज़ रॉन्ग बिकॉज अगर लोकल लॉ नहीं है तो कोड एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स तो फॉलो करना पड़ेगा ना, विच इज़ द स्ट्रिक्टर वन. वो बोलता है मटीरियल नॉन पब्लिक इन्फो यूज़ नहीं कर सकते, एंड दैट इज़ वाई इन दिस केस ऑप्शन सी इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग. सो ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर. Solution. The correct answer is option A. Because this question relates to standard 1A, knowledge of the law, specifically global application of code and standards. So basically ये जो code and standards का application है उसके ऊपर एक question था. Members and candidates who practice in multiple jurisdictions may be subject to various securities laws and regulations. If the applicable law is more strict, अगर law ज़्यादा strict है than the code of standards or code and standards, members and candidates must adhere to the applicable law. मतलब कि जो strict है वो follow करो. Otherwise, the members and candidates must adhere to the code and standards. Therefore, answer A is the correct one. If the local law is stricter, follow that. If code and standards are stricter, follow the code. Answer B is incorrect because members and candidates must adhere to the higher standard set by the code and standards if local applicable law is less strict. Code and standards follow karo if local applicable law is less strict. Answer C is incorrect because when no applicable law exists, members and candidates are required to adhere to the code and standards, and the code and standards prohibit the use of material non-public info. Next, example 19. Ward is scheduled to visit the corporate headquarters of Evans Industries. Ward expects to use the information he obtains there to complete his research report on Evans stock. Basically, ये जो Ward है वो research analyst होगा, and ये जो Evans है वो एक listed company है. Ward learns that Evans plans to pay all of Ward's expenses for the trip, including cost of meals, hotel room, air transportation. Which of the following actions would be the best course for Ward to take under the code and standards? Basically, you are studying this company Evans, and Evans is ready to pay all your expenses, meals, hotel room, or air transportation. So what should you do? That is the question. Option A, accept the expense paid trip and write an objective report. B, pay for all travel expenses including cost of meals and incidental items. This is what you have studied in standard 1B. And C, accept the expense paid trip but disclose the value of services accepted in the report. Now 1B क्या बोलता है? That you have to pay for all these expenses on your own. So option B seems exactly correct. ऑप्शन सी क्यों नहीं? सी क्या बोलता है? एक्सेप्ट द एक्सपेंस पेड ट्रिप बट डिस्क्लोज द वैल्यू ऑफ सर्विसेज एक्सेप्टेड इन द रिपोर्ट. नाउ इफ यू एक्सेप्ट दीज एक्सपेंसेस एंड इफ यू डिस्क्लोज, आर यू बीइंग इंडिपेंडेंट? तुम्हारा ऑब्जेक्टिविटी तो कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो जाएगा ना. So that is why B is the most appropriate answer. Solution. The correct answer is B. The best course of action under standard 1B, objectivity and independence, is to avoid a conflict of interest whenever and wherever possible. Therefore, for Ward to pay for all his expenses is the correct answer. Answer C details a course of action in which the conflict of interest would be disclosed, but the solution is not appropriate as avoiding the conflict of interest. मतलब B वाला जो है वो बेस्ट सोल्यूशन दे रहा है, उसके बाद C वाला आता है. Answer A would not be the best course because it would not remove the appearance of conflict of interest. Even though the report would not be affected by reimbursement of expenses, it could appear to be. So basically ये जो भी एक्सपेंसेस है वो बाद में आप रीइम्बर्स करवा लो, दैट इज स्टिल फाइन. सो यू शुड पे फॉर ऑल योर एक्सपेंसेस. क्वेश्चन 20. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स इज करेक्ट अंडर द कोड एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स? करेक्ट वाला स्टेटमेंट बोलना है. ए, CFA Institute members and candidates are prohibited from undertaking independent practice in competition with their employer. Now, ये तुमने पढ़ा है थ्योरी में, no doubt, but is it that they are prohibited or they can take permission and then enter? They can take permission and enter. That is why option A is a wrong statement. Written consent from employer is necessary to permit independent practice that could result in compensation or other benefits in competition with the members or candidate's employer. Now this is exactly correct because it talks about written consent and वैसा practice जिसमें compensation या other benefits मिलेगा and that practice is in competition with your existing employer. So this is absolutely correct. Option C says members and candidates are prohibited from making arrangements or preparations to go into a competitive business before terminating their relationship with their employer. Again, this talks about prohibition. So this one is also wrong. Basically, written permission से सब कुछ होता है. So it is not एकदम prohibited. It is prohibited but subject to one exception, which is permission. So B seems to be the right one. Solution. Correct answer is option B. Under standard 4A, which is loyalty, members and candidates may undertake independent practice that may result in compensation or any other benefit in competition with their employer as long as they obtain consent from their employer. Answer C is not consistent with the standards because the standards allow the members and candidates to make arrangements or preparations to go into a competitive business as long as those arrangements do not interfere with their duty to their current employer. If you remember, you are working as say research analyst and you want to do something which is not in competition, then it is still okay. You can make some arrangements for it, like you want to register a firm or something like that. That is still fine. Answer A is not consistent with the standards because standards do not include a complete prohibition against undertaking independent practice. उसमें एक permission लेने का exception डाला हुआ है. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned to eKeeda and subscribe to eKeeda.